Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We have some good news and we have some bad news today, and we're gonna go through it all. If you enjoy being kept up to date on all things YouTube golf and the YouTube golf news, hit that subscribe button for me. I literally stepped away from watching the US Open to bring you this video because I love you so much. So hit that button, that'd be great. All right, let's dive right into it. Two pieces of news coming from Grant. Thing number one, the good news. Let's start there because that's what everyone wants on a Thursday. Very exciting times. Grant is starting a match series with George Bryan. George Bryan and Grant are going to be taking on pro golfers in a 2v2 match series. This is cool. Number one, him and George, when they played together at Purcell Farms on Bryan Bros, both of them were out of their minds. I know that's not like necessarily going to be the way it is every time, but both of them played out of their minds. I'm pretty sure George was like 5 under, and I'm pretty sure Grant was like 4 under at one point and ended up dropping back, but they both played out of their minds golf. They played incredible golf. They're both great golfers, and I feel like they do play off each other pretty well. They also just have this kind of like bubbly chemistry, you know? They're both just kind of like laughing, funny, you know, go lucky kind of guys, and I feel like when they're together, the content is just, it's kind of joyful. It's kind of exciting to watch, not just for the good golf, but also just for the overall vibes. And I think they do just have a really natural chemistry, like Grant and Garrett. Grant and Garrett have a very natural chemistry. They always did. Their videos always felt effortless, and there was more to it than just like golf. These guys, I really do think, have that as well. They do have something that's also unique to offer. Is they can literally challenge pros. Like they can, especially if it's some sort of like 2v2 scramble or 2v2 best ball, whatever. These guys, I think, can lay a legitimate claim to challenge pros. Now, obviously, we're not talking like Scotty Scheffler pros, but like, you know, kind of your everyday kind of mid-level tour pros, like Corn Ferry Tour pros, maybe even some guys who have played on PGA Tour or whatever. Like, I mean, their first challenge is Akshay Bhatt and Wesley Bryan. That's what they announced, is that they're going to be playing them in a 2v2, which, I mean, don't get me wrong. Wesley and Akshay are 10 out of 10 better golfers, I think, than Grant and George. But in a 2v2, you never know. And both these guys are good enough that they can go out and they can obviously make birdies and bunches. And I do think they have, maybe it's naive to say, but I think they have a legitimate chance at beating a lot of these pros, especially if they get pros that aren't used to the YouTube format and maybe playing on camera in that way. Because you got to remember, like a lot of the pros who play competitive golf, yes, they're used to playing golf under pressure, but there's something weird about a camera, man. You see it on Good all the time when pros go on their channel, or people who are pretty good at golf go on their channel. It's like, I don't know, the weird finality of the internet and being judged and everything. Like playing on camera can be hard for a lot of people. So I think they have a legitimate chance of coming out in this and doing really, really well. So I'm personally very excited for this series. I love the Bryan Bros. I love the content they produce. I love their attitudes. I love the back and forth. And then you mix in Grant into that. I think this is really cool. I think it's something also that's a little bit different and more unique, the idea of challenging pros and not just, you know, other YouTubers. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm excited to see who they actually choose to challenge, because that might be a bit of the hurdle. It's hard to get also names that are big enough for your YouTube video if you're trying to pull more views, but maybe they don't care. Maybe they're just going out and they're just going to challenge whoever's a pro, and the content will just be good enough that it'll work. So anyway, excited to see that. That's the good news. The bad news, Grant announced something really crappy happened with his TaylorMade clubs. He was traveling back, I think, from Stockholm or traveling to Stockholm. I'm not sure, one of the two. And they were just lost. The United lost his luggage, his entire bag of TaylorMade clubs. Now I know what you're thinking, well, he's sponsored by TaylorMade. He's going to get them all back. But as he talks about in the video, he already has a bunch of clubs from TaylorMade. He goes, literally into this video, he goes and picks out a bunch and plays golf. And I won't ruin the ending for it because I've learned that spoiler alerts are not good. But yeah, it's a good video. Go watch it. Link down below. It's the one he posted today. It's where he announced all this stuff. But lost all his clubs. It's not just about physically having the clubs. It's like this guy, like he said, had spent months working to get, you know, everything right on his clubs. And like, I don't know. To me, it is a little bit of like, oh, boohoo, champagne problems. I can see how most of the internet would probably feel that way, because it's like, oh, you just get to go and get fitted again. Like, wow, really tough life. But it does suck. It does suck for the guy, especially when his job is to play golf on camera. He wants stuff he can trust. He wants stuff he can rely on. He talks about how he has that first match coming up with George against Wesley and Akshay in like a day, and he's just not going to have his clubs for that. And again, his job is literally to play golf on camera, and the better he plays, especially in a series where they're challenging pros, probably the better the content's going to be. So he wants to be able to go out there and be confident. So it does really suck. It does suck. It's like losing your work tools, just gone. Plus, it's like he even says in the video, they are kind of like his kids. You spend all this time kind of building them up, and then they're just gone. So I don't know. just golfer's worst nightmare. Like when I was traveling down to Scottsdale, waiting for my bag at the baggage claim, going there and coming back, it just sends shivers down your spine when it's taking a little longer than normal, because it's just the worst thing. I mean, if I lost my golf clubs, I legitimately just wouldn't have golf clubs. I wouldn't be able to buy new ones. They'd be gone. So yeah, that would really suck. But nevertheless, still sucks. That's the news. Let me know your thoughts on all of it in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.